Hello, and welcome to Recorder 101 again. Those of you who are in the United States, I'm very sorry about the situation there. It is something that the rest of us in other countries are extremely sorry about. That having been said, we probably need the distraction of our things like this more than ever. It isn't easy. I know. I'm warming recorders under my armpits and but of course, if we get back on track, we should do a few stretches. They're good for us, in spite of everything. You can probably hear the tick, tick, tick of the metronome in the distance. It's actually right beside me. That's 60. And the goal for today was 60. So let's do some breathing with 60. I'll stick one recorder back under the arm, and I'm going to do some, let me tip the thing down so that you can actually watch the fingers. Silent practice. 4. That was the first measure of our piece. Next I'm going to go to 8, so first 2 measures. First 2 measures. This time I'm going to go for 12. First 3 measures. Da, 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 da. And when I finish that, now with the duds, it's going to be 16. Right? Da, 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 da. I can do it. Okay, so these are the breathing things we could do. Here at the beginning, especially at such a slow pace, if you're struggling to get all the notes in, it doesn't feel like it's a slow pace. It's a slow pace. 16 is a good count. When it gets faster, you want to find your places where you will breathe. So that was breathing and tonguing at the same time. Sorry about the paper rattling, I've got notes that I go through regularly. Finger dexterity. We will get back to that when we introduce the next bit of this song without the notes, because I just want you practicing the dexterity part for the next week, and then we'll get the second half of the first line. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, and the reason I've got all these recorders here, is I'm going to start playing them one by one. This piece. Get your recorder and practice with me. If you find that you cannot keep up, that's okay. We've got a good place at this to get back on track. It's a repetitive tune, so that's good too. If you lose track, go to the next place, know where you're going to start and how you're going to go from there. this is important because if one of your goals is playing with people, and playing with people is a really good idea, then could be your first experience playing with somebody. And we will be picking up the tune, or picking up the speed. So I'm going to play it first on this recorder, then on my German recorder, then on my tenor recorder, and then I'm switching to the alto recorder, and I've got one more down here, my sopranino, which plays like the, okay? So it's going to be lots of time to practice, and as I switch between recorders, that gives you a wonderful opportunity to figure out where you are, and especially if you're playing an alto with a soprano, you get to hear what that sounds like. If you're playing the soprano with the alto or the sopranino or the tenor, you get to hear what that sounds like. The alto, I'm actually going to play it two different ways. One with exactly the same fingering, and one with the correct fingering for the alto to play these notes. Yes. Okay? So. Always interesting to get that F sharp. Tenor has the same fingering as soprano. If I'm not careful, it's going to go rolling somewhere. So this is the alto played exactly the same way as the soprano. If you're playing soprano, play with it. If you're playing alto, play with it. Same fingering. Tipping it down now for the correct fingering for this instrument, beginning on G. Nothing here, because that is a G. That's important. Now, come on, sopranino. I'm going to use the sopranino exactly on the notes as written. Sopranino plays exactly the same way as the alto. Haven't quite got that little finger in the right spot yet. That's okay. I'm going to stick it back down. Gee, I don't even know where I had it down there. And I should keep the alto warm too. Okay, we have a couple of notes that are going to be, that are in our range, but these are going to be eighth notes. So far, most of this is in quarter notes, except for those long double notes and the G that we have. So the and the. Now we're going to be getting some additional notes. So one of the fingerings you need to practice is moving your finger, let me just make, from just that hole to this hole, these two, thumb and forefinger. So it's going to have to go those are quarter notes. So practice this week getting your finger to go very easily from only this finger covering a hole to these two fingers. And practice, those are quarter notes. Now we're getting to the eighth notes. They are so that'll be a challenge, perhaps. So take that as slow as you need to. This is a case where slow equals fast because you're learning and you're getting the dexterity right. That little pattern will happen twice. And the other pattern that I showed you with the just this finger down and then these two fingers down, that will happen twice also. So that's the soprano. It will work exactly the same way on the tenor. It's the same whether it's a Baroque soprano or a German soprano, works exactly the same. So what are we doing if we're on the alto? This is where the alto is so nice. If we're playing it as the music is written, okay? So the notes as written, we have, now I have to reorient myself to things. We would have first this, excuse me, no, first this. Now I'm right. First this, and then this. So it would go quarter notes. Those are quarter notes. And pattern repeats twice. Okay? We're playing it as an alto, not as a soprano. And then the fast bit, the 16th notes, take the thing down. It's more important that you see the recorder and my fingers than my face. Sorry. Okay. If you want to play, those are the 16th notes, you'll really have to work on your dexterity. I have to work on mine this week too to get that right, to play it correctly. If you want to play it exactly as the soprano plays it, then yes, your fingering is going to be the same as the other. And then that bit is going to go okay. Once again, on this case, your alto recorder can act exactly as a soprano. It will be a fifth lower, which will sound very nice. If you are investing in a sopranino, the very small one that plays like the alto, then you really have to, unless you want to make it very high, which will be it's pretty high. Not wanting that, you'll want to come back down to and that's going to be a challenge. That still raises it higher than the soprano is playing because it's a higher instrument. It's full octave higher right now, playing it that way, than what the soprano is playing. So it would complement very nicely. So there's that. So those are the notes and the fingerings to play with. Give yourself plenty of time. If they're difficult, stand on one foot. Move to another place. Go outside and play just those notes. Get the fingering right. Do silent practice. You know, it's what needs to be done right now for that. So that's how you would practice this. Get that fingering really right. I wish you good luck. We'll get the notes for that next week. And the other thing for next week is to move the music that you have, slowly increase your metronome speed up to 70. Okay? Take care. Have a good, safe week to you and everyone you know and care for, and even the ones who you don't know, but you just care for them anyway. Wishing you all the best.